Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and welcome back to Let's Play Apsulov, End of Gods. This is episode 8. So last time, we escaped from being dead by just kind of walking out of hell after dodging past a bunch of the man-spiders. And then we found Henrik had been torn in half by Loki, so we put him in a small sphere, and now we're carrying him around with us. Also, we've headed back into hell, so we could gain a new power in order to destroy Loki, because apparently the artifact tissue he used to create us was from his daughter Hel, who we're in her temple palace thing now. Alright, so how are we doing on power? We're mostly charged, we've got 48 batteries, level 7 clearance. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. And we've got Henrik's sphere in our inventory. So let's find out about our past. And again, this place is still very much looking like a dwarven stronghold, but I guess when they designed that typical kind of dwarven architecture that a lot of fantasy settings use, it is kind of based on this Viking look. You know, this stoneworking kind of thing. Even though I don't think there was ever any grandiose Viking structures quite like this. I mean, obviously not like this, but even just on a smaller scale. They mostly worked with things like runestones. Definitely nothing like this. I wonder what these creatures are supposed to be. Don't think they're Fenrir. But that, right there, is Hel herself. And her scythe. Because of course she's got a scythe. I like that unlike the typical Grim Reaper scythe, hers actually has the normal, secondary handle of a harvesting scythe. Who is that my eyes spot? A very large skeleton.
This is where her journey ended. Daughter of Loki, ruler of Helheim. Destroyed by the gods as vengeance for the death of Odin's son.
Did she really deserve this?
Maybe not. Look, beside the throne. The light.
How could you see that from back here? Well, I guess I don't know how your sight works anymore now that you're a sphere. Also, what are these spirits doing here? Have they been trapped in this room ever since Hel died? Or did they somehow find their way in here, even though we had to kill a bunch of man-spiders to get in here? How did they prove themselves worthy? Alright, well, we could go look at the corpse, which again gives us another kind of idea of the scale of these Norse gods. Though obviously she's quite a bit smaller than Mimir, but that makes sense because Mimir was a giant from Jotunheim, whereas she was just a child of Loki. I mean, still looking pretty impressive in death. Looks like there's still some juice in the scythe.
Did you just... How does it feel?
My arm is cold. I can barely feel it.
Yangre just absorbed the energy in the scythe and melded it with the atrium. This shouldn't be possible unless... By the gods. Your body truly has the essence of hell inside. You're half god, whose power has been returned to you. The power to draw strength from death. The spirits. Draw power from them. Destroy the lock, holding us in this room, and let's get back to Midgard and end Loki.
I've got some questions from that. First off, does that mean she could actually feel this robotic arm before she'd absorbed that? Or does she just mean like the stump where it's attached? So we have regained the power of a god, which is still contained in our robot arm, so I guess it's not entirely ours. But now, we can juice up on spirits. Which, again, I don't know if we're disintegrating these spirits from existence, and they will never be able to resurrect now. But, you know, they are our subjects, so we'll use them as we see fit. I just accidentally killed that other one. You might have noticed as well that it only takes 3 cells to charge a shot now instead of 4. So yeah, we've switched to hell power, which means we are considerably more powerful now. At least as long as there are spirits around to juice us up. But now we should be able to attempt to destroy Loki. I think we can go out either side. So finding out that Alice is also, you know, part god, I think was another pretty good reveal that I definitely wasn't expecting from the beginning of this game. I really thought it would be a lot more like cybernetic horror with a little bit of Viking mythology mixed in. But instead, they kind of go both ways. We're like a spiritual-powered cyborg. There's actually a couple pretty good pieces of concept art that I'll show off later that kind of show Alice's transition throughout the game and show what we look like now. But sadly, you never actually see yourself in-game. Alright, things are a little destabilized here.
It's time to purge the keepers of Helheim. They've inhabited your realm for far too long.
Henrik is pretty much just like our advisor now. Like, yeah, you take back that realm, partial daughter of mine. I do like how quick that animation is, too, for just yanking that soul into your arm. It definitely makes you feel more powerful. That was a twofer there. I was trying to line them up. But yes, unfortunately, we do have to destroy quite a few of these spirits in order to maintain our charge. It's also a good catharsis that they let you go through this area now that you have your powers. No more need for us to sneak around or hide. We must make this place secure for future dead people. Well, now we have to make our way back to the facility. Presumably through the same route. It'd also be a bit of an ironic combination if, you know, Thor was the one that came and killed Hel, that we're now using his power together with our own. Hey, what are you guys doing here? You don't belong here.
Your soul is a bit exposed, but you're still stuck to the body. Absorb them. Set them free.
Seems like Loki left a few little, watchers for us. And is thus presumably aware that we're not dead. I mean, hey, he is the great schemer, so maybe he knew that we would find our identity ourselves and become the not disappointing daughter he wanted. Here's another thing I wonder. Do dead gods also end up here? Or do they just kind of cease to exist? Is this place only for mortal souls? So I'm wondering, like, you know, wouldn't we see, what's his name, Fenrir, down here somewhere? Or is he just dead? Also, I guess that's made more confusing by the master of the realm of the dead being dead herself. Like, I guess she doesn't go anywhere when she dies. She's just a skeleton, waiting for someone else to inherit her power. Alright, back through this route for the third time. And now we have to actually find where Loki is in this facility.
Finally. The Atrium alone never stood a chance against Loki. But this combination is surely strong enough to end him forever.
We could have actually gone through here on the way back down, but we couldn't go here before because we didn't have our arm when we first came out of that route. Is there actually anything here? There might not have been a reason to open this door. I mean, I'm not hearing any pings. So yeah, I think this is just a pointless dead end with some dumpsters. It's weird seeing dumpsters in an underground facility. Like, how much of a pain in the ass is it to empty those? You have a forklift that delivers them? Loki, come out and play. Well, first I guess we have to get back into the main part of the facility because we're still in the underground entrance. I suppose the downside to our soul-powered magic is that there aren't a lot of souls just hanging around up here. But we can still also charge using just Atrium. You know, obviously our batteries still work as well. But we are most powerful when we're in our own realm. Alright, so we saw this door before, this level 8 door. As far as I'm aware, there is absolutely no way to open this door in your first playthrough. To get that final power cell, and I guess the relevant achievement for getting all of them, you have to come back here in a New Game Plus, you know, once you have the level 8 clearance. Which is a bit of a pain. I mean, maybe there is another place to get level 8 clearance that we can actually come back from, but as far as I know, there isn't. I didn't see any anywhere. And back up the elevator. I kind of wish you didn't have to come out back here again and just go up.
This is what the world has come to. A chaotic mess.
Kind of wish we came out closer to the top.
It's rather beautiful in its madness.
Hey, Henrik. What's it like on Midgard?
Alright. You haven't actually seen the world. Well, it's bleak. Gray cities. Broken countries. I don't think I ever saw a future in Midgard that didn't involve complete destruction.
That doesn't sound very appealing.
Well, it wasn't all bad. Midgard is home. Well, it was home. People mostly toiled to stay alive, but everyone had something to hold on to in order to stay sane.
What did you hold on to before all of this happened?
Family. I had Sarah and Alice. They were more important to me than anything.
Henrik, who is Alice?
Alice was our daughter. She fell ill, and not even Borcorp could help her. The guild drove me and Sarah further, beyond the sights of humans, to find a cure for her. That's when we found the Apsulov, and with it, a voice in the machine.
Loki.
At first it was a blessing. He helped us cure Alice, and pushed the research and exploration to its peak. We were at the edge of pushing humanity beyond our limitations. Then he infiltrated our system from within. By the time I realized what he was doing to the staff, it was too late. The last resort was to trigger the emergency protocol and seal the entry shaft.
What happened to your family?
Sarah must have died in the initial chaos. I probably knew it at the time when I heard her voice again. None of that mattered. The look on Alice's face when she heard her mother's voice again. All my suspicions just went away. So I listened to my wife and gathered as many people as I could and sent them out to look for those fucking keys. Alice wanted to help, like everyone else. She never came back. But I thought I could find her, and I could free her. But it was too late.
I'm sorry, Henrik.
Yeah, me too. Without my obsessive searching, none of this would ever have happened. Alas, when it's done, it's done. Now I need your help to fix this. Loki must be annihilated for the sake of everyone and everything in the 9 worlds. Hypothetically, you must destroy Loki.
We're working on it. So there's definitely some things to address in there. I guess this world is not doing great. It's a bit of a bleak future where probably ecological damage and pollution has run its course somewhat. So maybe getting a little bit spiced up by having the other realms mingle with it is not the worst fate. But also, I guess Alice Hell does not have memories from either of her, composite people that she's made up from. Also kind of sad that Henrik doesn't know how either of his family members died in here. Like, do you think Loki killed her and then used her for his, creation experiment? Or, oh, hello. Or do you think that Loki just found her dead and he's like, this could be useful?
Loki! We have come for you! Blast him!
Gotta blast him before he tears our arm off again. I mean, I feel like that's definitely
You are wielding
our weak spot.
powers of my daughter. You wield them. I underestimated you, my dear. You are finally everything I made you to be. Proof that your creation was truly a blessing. Let me see you wield those powers.
Our weak spot is that all of our power is attached to our frail, fleshy arm. So we must protect the joint between that and the yarn graper. But first we have to chase Loki down, because I guess he can teleport. Wait, no. Is this the one we came in from? I might be accidentally backtracking. Mission, destroy Loki. I mean, most of that room is now blocked off by roots. Alright, I believe we are going the right way because the music is picking up. I wonder if anyone can translate what he just said, considering how much filtering there is on his voice. I almost feel like we shouldn't do that just because he wants us to. But they are in the way. And they will give us the punching if we don't. The nice thing is it takes just as much power to kill them as it does to get back from them. So we're not really losing energy here, and we do have entirely too many batteries. Remember this area? We haven't been down here in a long time. I also appreciate the subtle effect that you also charge much faster. Get out of here, Vinny. You charge much faster once you get this upgrade, even if you charge from the wall stations.
The same, you and I, mistreated and underestimated. The gods underestimated me.
Weren't we mistreated by him, though?
My sons and my daughter. Locked me up in that prison that you so kindly released me from. Look at me now. I outlived them all.
Also, it's kind of hard to feel bad for him when he brought it entirely upon himself by, oh, it was just a prank that I got you to kill one of your sons. Haha, can't you take a joke, bro? Well, it's been a while since we've been in this bathroom. But yeah, like, he fucked up, and then he was mad about it. I mean, sure, having your entire family murdered and then being left into a prison to forever be rotted by acid is a little brutal, but, you know, you started it. And he says he outlived them all, but we don't really know what happened to the other gods. Since they won't just let us go into, you know, any of the other realms where they would inhabit. And somehow I doubt Loki knows what happened either.
Precious daughter, don't do this. The gods of Asgard did whatever they wanted, and they used the giant to build the Apsulov so only they could travel between the worlds. They made Idris out their playing field. I simply evened it. With 9 realms in union, a new world can sprout, untouched by their meddling.
Don't listen to him!
I see that your mind is corrupted by that porn. This can only end one way.
That was probably not the way he meant. I did not even know there was a hole there. And of course, we have to respawn at the save point, because we don't have the Death Realm anymore. I find it odd, though, because Loki refers to them as the gods of Asgard, but again, is he not one of them? Is Loki truly adopted? Okay, we traded there. And I was a little too aggressive with that guy. We may be the, you know, half of the embodiment of the Lord of Death, but we could still be beaten to death by skinless men. I don't really need to drain their soul because they will reform, but not quickly, so we can just walk away from them. But it's satisfying to yank them out of existence. Even if it's not really their fault what they are.
The same, you and I, mistreated and underestimated. The gods underestimated me, killed my sons and my daughter. Locked me up in that prison that you so kindly released me from. Look at me now. I outlived them all.
I like how we've got this dramatic chase, but we still have to, like, cycle the airlocks.
No, my precious daughter, don't do this. use the giant to build the Apsulov so only they could travel between the worlds. They made intercept their playing field. I simply evened it with 9 rows.
Alright. Maybe let's be a little careful this time.
Sprout, untouched by their meddling.
Don't listen to him!
I see that your mind is corrupted by that porn.
You notice his mask is getting more and more cracked.
This can be. You're coming with me.
No. So I guess we did successfully kill him there. And he killed us in return. So now we're both in hell.
What do they even have up there? Only 9 sense of belonging. Stand at best.
You bring nothing but suffering.
Suffering is what they deserve.
You're not going to leave this place, Loki.
But you don't seem to understand, my dear.
We're half of a god. So remember when they said he couldn't really control his shape-shifting anymore? Yeah, this is the result of that.
Aim for the eye!
Thanks, Henrik. The weak point. Aim for the obvious weak point. So this is Loki. It's a boss fight. The only one in the game. And we need to essentially blast him from a distance like this. Without getting sensed by his little snake mouth with a hand coming out of it. It's a pretty good, like, monstrous design, though. Ow. We do have some cover to hide behind. But yeah, I guess despite all those eyes he has, he can't really see us. They're kind of blind. Just gonna let our health come back. Well, then I guess you'll be dust. You notice he doesn't immediately know where you are, even when you blast him. The sentry tentacle has to find you first.
His face! It's revealed! Blast him!
His face, which is on his tongue. Alright, let's try to back away from the snake tentacle. So yeah, it's a little bit of a weird boss fight, but I guess from the way the combat in this game works, this is probably the best way to do it. Because it actually does feel like a fight, even if it's not a super complicated one. Oh shit, we're out of batteries. Alright, we need to find ourselves a wayward soul. Helpfully, he dragged us into our own realm where we can get our power back easily. I'm stuck against like a boulder. Oh, slugs. We're in slug zone now. I don't know how these things actually got here, considering they come from Jotunheim. Yeah, I need to juice up. We still have, like, all those batteries we could use, too. There's not really any reason to save them. So yeah, they essentially just add more obstacles to this fight as we go. Also, thankfully, more spirits do drop in. I guess there's people dying out there quickly. What's that one doing? Intimidating wheel. It's not very effective. for it to pass by. And last one. Alright, I think this should be it. To be fair, though, he did kind of push us into doing this stuff.
The 9 worlds are collapsing as we speak. If I am dead, then there will be nothing to control it. No gods, no kings. Only dying mortal races, clutching for survival in chaos.
Sounds like a Randian dream.
I know how to control the new, united world. Here, will you make a pact? You and I to rule together over this new world as father and daughter.
Loki is a lunatic. I wouldn't trust him with the entire world. Kill him, Hel, and rid us from all of his corruption.
I like the spirits just casually walking by this.
It cannot be broken.
Sorry, Loki. But you've killed us like 3 times.
Until the end of time. And I will never harm you.
It's done.
I suppose from here he's got nowhere left to go.
What will happen now?
You know, Loki wasn't wrong about the chaos this will bring to the world. The 9 realms will in time grow into one. Loki's plan was a success. But he will not be allowed to rule the new world he created. That alone puts my spirit at rest, I guess.
What will happen to everyone?
In Midgard? Or, I suppose Midgard isn't a thing anymore. The people will endure great suffering with these changes, but humanity will prevail. We always have. What I want to know is, what are you going to do? Helheim bows to your will now. With the realms united, there will be little stopping you. You could bring order to the chaos hell. Perhaps, in due time, the dead will walk among the living.
I mean, we already do.
We'll see. In due time.
I'm not really sure what this door is that's sucking in the spirits, though. And thus we assume our mantle as demigod in the forcefully merged worlds. So yeah, that's Apsulov, End of Gods. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going through it a second time. And I think the story was worth sharing for everyone who's watching this. And, you know, it does leave room for there to be another game. The ending actually surprisingly kind of reminds me of Shadow Warrior 2, which also, spoilers, ends with the worlds merging and then being like, well, it's a whole new world. Also, it's funny that Loki and Henrik shared the same voice actor. Some gurgling sounds for Hel / whispers. Spooky laughter. Lots of whispers. Also, I'm surprised that there's a lot less runic after, like, the halfway point. I mean, you know, it was fun translating the little ones that were in there, including Cinnamon Bun. Okay, it's interesting there you see music box. That is the little box we saw early in the game. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good little game, and I feel like it was maybe kind of underappreciated. Like, not a lot of people gave it a shot because it came out at kind of a weird time in August. But I think it's a pretty solid horror game, and there's enough going on here that I wouldn't straight up call it a walking simulator. It's just not a super dense mechanics kind of game.
Father, wake up! The Apsulov has started Fimbulwinter, and Helheim has awakened from its slumber.
Awaken Odin and get my hammer. We have to pay a visit to Helheim again.
So yeah, there's a little extra something for why they could make a second game set in this, since that was presumably Thor, which means that the Asgardian gods are still alive. But also, yeah, before we end it here, let's go into the unlockable here. So here's, you can see, like, this is where we were when we woke up at the start, with the eye and the arm sewed on. And then this is us by the end of the game, when we are, you know, badass demigod. So I think that's a pretty cool design. But as you can see, there are things you unlock for beating the game on Berserker and God difficulties. So I don't know if there's more like lore stuff that comes into that as well, if you get a more complete ending after video, but as far as I looked up, I didn't see that anywhere. There's the Apsulov itself, the saves points. I'm not really sure what that is. It kind of looks like Helheim. I wish we could have saw more stuff like this, but I think if they made another game, it would be cool to see, well, I guess you can't really travel to the other worlds, but literally see elements of all the different worlds. You know, kind of expand on that. But yeah, I would be glad to see another Apsulov game. And we are going to check out the other ending if we accept Loki's offer. But aside from that, that's pretty much the end of Apsulov, and I hope you've enjoyed this journey, if you've taken the whole thing with me. And I'll see you in the future in other spooky underground laboratories. Alright, to the ending.
Between gods, it cannot be broken. If you take my hand, then we will equally share this world until the end of time. And I will never harm Jordan.
Okay, well, we chose one father last time. What if we choose our other father?
We work together.
What are you doing? Destroy him!
Think of all this.
What have you done?
I should never have underestimated him.
Now, I actually didn't do this ending in my own playthrough.
He was a bad influence on you. I'm very proud that you found your footing despite his poisonous whispers.
What will happen now?
Oh, I have so much to show you, my dear.
I mean, if you could just open portals like that, why didn't you do that before? So that's an okay ending, I guess. It's not very interesting compared to the other one. I think the other one's probably more of a true ending, instead of just like, Loki takes you on a father-daughter adventure. So I don't know if there's another post-credits scene. That's different for this ending? No, it sounds like it's the same. So, either way, Helheim has awoken.
The Apsulov has started Fimbulwinter, and Helheim has awakened from its slumber.
Awaken Odin and get my hammer. We have to pay a visit to Helheim again.
Alright, well, that's both endings for Apsulov. So again, thank you for joining me, and I hope I'll see you again in future LPs. Until then, take care everyone.